vibe is real cool. I couldn't help but notice you across the room. Oh, let's follow up with a drink, you know it's on me. Then maybe we can talk a little bit so we can see if this night can lead to you staying with me.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy, Connie. And once again, we're here on 95 South TV. First and foremost, I want to thank God for this opportunity because without him, it would be no us. Secondly, I want to introduce this young lady to my right of me, the queen herself, La Moore. What's going on?
Nothing much. Everything is beautiful. Just staying blessed and highly favored.
Okay, that's what's up. Then I introduce my right hand man, baby mama favorite host. You know what I'm saying? Bad White Junior voice himself, Jacob the Great King. Jacob, what's going on, brother?
Hey man, just glad to be in the land of the living, dog. Another day to get it right. That's all it is.
Okay. So before we officially get started, I want to say, rest in peace to Bobby Brown's brother. For y'all that don't know, that's the one. If you watch the Bobby Brown movie, he was the one played by Mekhi Phifer in the movie. So if you watch that movie, then that's who portrayed his brother, and he passed away a couple of days ago. I didn't get all the details on what happened and what was the cause of death, but I just do know he had passed away on Friday. So basically after that, this is inspired by. This is powered by Inspire Radio. .com. Also, y'all go to our YouTube page, subscribe at 910 SNE. You know what I'm saying? Also, powered by the Roku channel 810 Studios. So anyway, brother, go ahead and get us started with the topic tonight.
So man, we have a sensational topic, man. And this topic is inquiring minds wants to know. So this topic is the traditional woman versus the independent woman. And there is a big difference. And so I believe that, this topic, sometimes doesn't get discussed because in this day and age, you know, uh, the traditional women did things different. Now uh, the independents have changed their mindset like they don't really need a man for anything. In which, as Maury Povich would say, and that was a lie. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So before I get into this, man, I'm gonna go ahead and let the queen have the floor, followed up by you, Icon, and then I'll spill the beans on what I really think.
Okay. So, you know, in today's society, like the world has definitely evolved. So, a traditional woman back in the day was a woman that pretty much stayed home and, nurtured the kids, cooked, washed clothes or whatever, submissive. But since the world has evolved, women like to be independent and they like to have their own job, have their own money. The man can still be the provider because a lot of times some independent women still want the man that is the provider, but the woman just likes to be in a space where she's able to pay her own bills, and redefine the roles of just being a woman. Like you don't just have to stay around and just cook and clean, and you can't make any decisions outside of your household as far as what you're going to eat tonight. So that's just my takes on it between the two, the
Now,
difference between the two of them.
go ahead, Icon, because I got something to follow up. Say, go ahead,
Well,
Icon.
well, I'm gonna say this. I feel like some of it is the cause of the man too, because I think what happens is some of these women had to go into survival mode. Um, I think it would be more women than we think there is that wouldn't mind still being a traditional woman, but being that the man didn't stick around or the man either, either left, went to prison, whatever the case may be. And it left the woman to have to kind of fend for herself and to have to become a more of an independent woman versus being a traditional woman. I think that's part of some of the reason why, we have more independent women than we have traditional women because they had to learn how to empower themselves.
Well, I'm glad both of you have spoken, and both of you have valid points and said what you said. But let me go back to La point. She said to redefine the woman. What exactly does redefining the woman really mean?
Well, it's just that back in the day, women didn't really go out there and really have like a full 9 to 5. They more so, dealt with tending to the kids in the household. Now, women feel like they want more. And I think women think sometimes that that's all men think that we're capable of. So, women didn't have a lot of rights that men had back in the day either. So I think that women are sticking up for what they want, what they believe in. So they don't want people just to look at them as a traditional woman that just wants a man just to take care of them. Like they have a mind and want things and have goals and ambition and dreams. And they're just taking the steps to do whatever they feel like they want to do.
Okay, well, that's understandable. But having goals, ambition, and dreams, and want to make your money independently on your own, that's one thing. That's great. But I feel that the traditional woman had more of an emotional presence. They had more of a what we call intellectual mental space, um, and they was more spiritually connected, to their male. They was more evenly yoked, and so I see a lot of independent women doing their thing, but their energy is so masculine. Like, what's the feminine energy at? The energy is it's so Brody. If I want that Brody energy, I call our cousin and we can talk about sports and shoot the shit all day. You know what I mean? I don't want that Brody energy from from a female, and we ain't gotta be even like that, but still that feminine energy needs to peak out. It needs to peak out. It needs to let the whole world know I'm lady like I'm classy. You know, I am I am her. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we don't get that. And to your point, Aton, you know, you said they had to do it, but do we hold anybody accountable for not studying a person's character, not choosing wisely? Do we not hold them accounts? Cause one thing about a man, he don't just fuck up all at once. A brother that's messing up, he didn't gave you red flags. He didn't gave that female sign. But if the pina colada is good, if the wood is good, if the oak tree is good, you know what I mean? They they kind of move that out the way. Maybe he gonna change, but I just can't definitely get. No, I can't do it. I love him so much, but is there a fine line and a balance between you know you loving somebody and thinking logically? Do people even think logically when they're in love?
Well, I
Let's
mean,
talk.
I'll say this.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so I'll say this. I don't think it's necessarily when you say responsibility of somebody to blame. I think you could look at it a couple of different ways. One, the way the system's set up. So when the man was trying, like let's say you lived in the projects or somewhere, and you was living off an assistance. And the man, when he was trying to be in the home, the rule was you couldn't get assistance if you had a man in the home. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the man had to leave, and the woman had to end up kind of like almost fending for herself in the household. Then what happened is, and the man ended up having to leave and stay somewhere else or whatever. Then he started roaming, and he ended up, getting with another girl, getting into the streets. Some of them got on drugs. You know what I'm saying? And just all kind of different stuff went on with that man. So then at the end of the day, it left that woman to be by herself. Now, I will say this. I was talking to somebody, earlier this week or whatever, and basically at the end of the day, women do sometimes have to do a better job in the situation, being that we're talking about the independent women or whatever, or the women in general, of choosing. If you in a relationship with a man and you get that same pattern of man over and over, at some point you gotta be like, you know what? Maybe I need to go a different direction. Because what's that saying? You know what I'm saying? The definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again, expecting the same results. And I just feel like sometimes women, I'm gonna keep going with the drug dealer. I'm gonna keep going with the street dude. I'm gonna keep going with the fine dude with all the muscles. I'm gonna keep doing the light skinned dude with the pretty hair, the dark skinned dude with the bald head. You know what I'm saying? And then they keep going to get the same brother, and they keep getting the same results. You know what I'm saying? Because they keep going after the same type of man. You know what I'm saying? Instead of switching it up, when the last three times you kept going after this certain kind of guy, and he wasn't bringing the results you was looking for. So I'm gonna give it over to Lala and let her rebut this or say what she needs to say.
I mean, at the end of the day, when you were talking about like the feminine energy as well too, when you are working these jobs, just like how a man gets home or whatever, you're tired. So the feminine energy sometimes is not there because shit, they tired. They ain't feel like doing nothing. You have more time to, prepare a man's bath water, get things ready, hot meal and stuff. But if the woman is working the 9 to 5 as much as the man, then there's time that has to be balanced out with that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like there are a lot of females that do want to be somewhat traditional, but it's just the way that society has evolved. And not only that, it's so many different things in place now to where it makes it a distraction for people to actually come together and like, let's figure this out, or how can we make this work? But if the rates of the bills and stuff is going up, I mean, what can they do? Sometimes it takes the two partners coming together to try to pay the bills. So you're just gonna have to balance it out.
And I agree with you on that because I was just thinking that is that I don't the way society is set up now with inflation, cost of living. There's no real way to go back to being a woman to be what you call the traditional woman in the sense of what Jacob's talking about, because you can't survive really off of one income in a home unless
Mm-hmm.
the person is making some big major dollars, like a big time brain surgeon, or a $1 million lawyer or athlete, or something like that. You know what I mean? Unless you're making a job where you're making probably $500,000 to $1 million a year, like as a man, then the woman can be home and be more of the caretaker in the house and take care of the kids and everything else. In most cases, the average person, let's just go by the average society of what we're talking about, you have to have both, the man and the woman being able to work. And the thing about it, I've known, had women I've known that were single women who were basically didn't even have kids and and struggled because they had to do everything on their own, and they didn't have kids and they still struggling. So I don't even see how you it's the traditional thing is extinct. It's like dinosaurs. We'll never see a traditional woman again. Not in most cases. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all not getting it, bro. I'm not even talking about financial. That ain't what I'm talking about, man. I'm talking about mindset, emotional presence, spirituality. I'm talking about. Even yo, I ain't even really talking about the finances. I'm talking about the element, the class. You know what I mean? How that has went out the window nowadays. Not with all women, because with some, they're independent, but you can feel their presence in their femininity when they walk through a room. But not all, but this traditional versus the independent has nothing really to do with finances. You know what I mean? It's way deep in the finances. Finances is just a little part of it. You know what I mean? It's way much deeper than finances.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. Okay, so you kind of clarified a little bit more, and I'm gonna tell you why that's almost extinct. What you're saying, because who's gonna teach these young women that? Because most of, if you look at, let's look at kids that we talked about this generation, the YN generation of today. If you take the women, the girls of today who don't really want to follow the principles like we talked about yesterday. Me and you and we was talking. Loretta and all was talking. At the end of the day, we talked about how we try to teach our kids a certain way, but something whether it's psychologically, if it's something I don't know what it is, but these kids in this generation, they just kind of like went off on their own beaten path, and they don't even want to. It's like we didn't even. It's like that we was there, but we were in their mind we wasn't there. Like we know we told them, and Lala can attest to this because she comes from the same generation as me and Moretta does, is that we know we taught our kids, but then when you try to talk to them, they act like they don't have common sense. They act like everything we said never happened, and they go off on their own beaten path. So how who if these young ladies, if let's say I'm just using Lala's daughter for example. Let's just say Lala's daughter, she knows she taught her certain things, how to be etiquette, how to be a lady, how to be a woman, how to be a wife, how to be a mother, all that stuff. And then, but she doesn't take on any of those principles. Who's going? How is the next generation behind that is going to take on that traditional woman mindset or that spiritual mindset if the mothers of today is not going to pass that down because they're not listening to the mothers of yesteryear. They're not just listening to the laws of the world. You know what I'm saying? They're actually trying to teach them how to be that type of woman, and they don't want to listen. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said in that regard, it's kind of extinct. You know what I'm saying? Because I know my daughter went to church. We taught her the spiritual values and all that kind of stuff. Her mother taught her about how to be a mother. She's seen how to be how to be how her mother to be a wife and all that kind of stuff. So she's seen all that. So it's not like she hasn't seen it. And whatever the case may be, it's like I'll give you an example. I remember like when we would be around uh, my wife's I'll be around the in-laws, and her nieces be like, "Oh, you fix Eddie plate," and she'd be like, "Yeah, I fix his plate." You know what I'm saying? Because that's what a wife would do at dinner time. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But it'd be one of those things where it wouldn't even. It would be like, okay, if I cook, she get a plate. If she cook, I get the plate. I mean, if she cook, she make my plate. If I cook, I make her plate. So it was just one of those things that was like, kind of understood without even talking about. So, you know what I'm saying, at the same time. So that's why I'm like, at the end of the day, like, little things that your kids watch you do, you know what I'm saying, it's not just about telling them, it's about what they see. And if they see certain things, then they should automatically pick those things up. But they see it and they still say, I ain't doing that. I'm doing this over here. I'm going the opposite of what my parents say. I'm going over here. I'm gonna do it this way. I'm not doing that over there. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the reason too.
I can dig it. I can dig it. But before I continue, I want to say I did not know you was gonna come on this interview and give me Nino vibes. I'm just gonna ask you where your rock wallet is.
What you stupid? Whatever, dude. Hey, listen. It's like 30 something degrees. I went from sunshines and palm trees and the whole thing, and just loving life this past week from California. Even Nebraska was warm yesterday. Nice weather. Woke up this morning, walked outside. I knew I was going to Chicago and Wisconsin, so I knew it was going to be cold. But I didn't think it was going to be that cold this morning. So I had to throw on the turtleneck today, boy. So I had to give you the Nino today. I had to get it
Yeah.
Nino.
What do you say? You incapable of running this shit, G money. Shut your black ass down before I make change. Hey
Oh
man,
my.
just need nobody, man. But I'm gonna say that to your point, Icon, you make a valid point, and I must say, Kevin Samuels make the same valuable point. But you know, when he was alive and breathing and giving his opinion and giving his take, he was the most hated man on earth. They say he belittled women. He did this, but he was just giving his point of view. And so you just gave your point of view, but you may didn't have the same
Hey,
delivery
hey,
Kevin
Jacob,
had.
not to cut you off, Jacob. I want you to ask this. I want Lala to answer this question because I want because when we talked about Kevin Samuels, right?
Hmm.
Answer this question, Lala.
Okay.
Do women? I want you to give me your 100% like truth. I don't want no BS answer. I want the 100% truth. Do
Okay.
women really want a man to be honest at all times? Because the reason why I asked that, Kevin Samuels was about as honest as he could be. The delivery might have been all jacked up or whatever you want to call it, or whatever, but he was as honest as he could be about what he talked about. So do women really want a man to be honest at all times?
I'm gonna give you my God honest to truth answer, and this does not speak for all women, but no, no. The answer is no, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because there's a lot of times when men will tell females, "I'm not ready for this relationship," blah blah blah, and we will put it on you to where you will say, "Yeah, I want to be in this relationship." It's things like that that honestly do happen. Or, "Hey, baby, do I look good in this dress?" The man really want to say no, but if he say no, then you gonna get mad and probably don't cook him no food tonight, so he gonna tell you yes. So
Mhm.
it's just different things where not all the time. Sometimes people be like, "I just wanted you to lie to just lie to me today."
You know, Icon, and to your point, I remember you when you used to tell me, Jacob. You can't be brutally honest, blunt, and that direct when it comes to
Mhm.
what you say to a female. I kind of used to
Mhm.
tell me, "Oh man, you can't do that, man." And I said, "Why not? Do they just want me to tell them a lie and get their feelings, you get their feelings involved, and then just cut them off? Like what? So what do they really want? You know, because I'm real blunt, real brutally honest, and you know, I said what I said, and I stand on it. I can say, "Oh hell no, you can't do that, bro. You cannot do that."
No, no. I
And
learned that way back in the day. I
and
learned that
and,
long
and,
time ago.
and he said, "Boy, listen here, man. Your ass, boy, listen. You gonna learn one day." He was like, "You said what, huh?" I was like, she asked me, and I said, "Are you sure you want me to answer this question honestly
That's where
and
you
direct?"
fucked up.
They said, "Yeah." They said, "Yeah."
You fucked up right there.
They said, "Yeah." So what I'm saying, people always ask you for something they do not be ready for. You know what
Yes.
I mean? And inside they know they're not ready for it, but they still want this answer. And this and the answer you give them may hurt their feelings from 2026 all the way to 2030. But you asked for this.
Yep.
Jacob, you gotta look at it like this. When you go on a job, I know it's been years, it's been a minute since you actually been like a job interview where you sit down in the office. I'm the same way. It's been a while since I've been like on an actual job interview. But when you go on a job interview and the person is hired that they can hire you, and they ask you a question like, "Why are you here?" In your mind, you're really thinking, "I just want a damn check. I don't really want to
Exactly.
be here. I just want a check." But you don't say that. You come up with some crazy, "Oh, I want to build with the company. I want to be here.
Hmm.
I
That
want to,
part.
try to be a management, da 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 da, and you give them some BS answer, knowing you lying your teeth off. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with your woman sometimes. Sometimes she'll say, do I look good in this dress? And you can't say, no, girl, you're fat, it look ugly. Take that shit off. You cannot say that. You be like, yeah, I think you look better in the real one. That's the type of
Listen,
answer you got to give, or the blue, or
did
whatever.
you just go with color purple? You're black, you're ugly, you're a woman.
Hey, but I can't. I'm gonna say this right here, man. Like a lot of times, you're right about that. You just gotta throw something, baby. If you like it, I love it. Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
but in your
That'll go
mind,
a long
you,
way.
you,
That'll get you some
it,
cool. That'll get you something
it,
tonight.
it, it,
Your answer was gonna get you in on the couch. But go
Absolutely
ahead.
not.
it's I can't. It's quite okay. It's quite okay because I'm at peace of mind. I told the truth because if I don't, that shit'll be weighing on me. Like, man, you know that's fucked up that you ain't tell her the truth, and she gonna be out here looking like boo boo the fool. You know what I mean? And you could have told her the truth, man. You could have set her down and a calm
No.
after discussion with, yeah, you could have. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
so I don't know how many men grew up with real grandfathers, right? You know what I'm saying? That was really blunt. I think men now be pussyfooting around. You know what I mean? Like they hide so much shit and be like, it's just, it's just,
See, I know you know why I know Jacob on one tonight because Jacob don't curse as much normally. No, I know
and
he on.
and they be so miserable because they can't speak their truth. They gotta hide their truth for 30 years.
Jacob,
And then
Jacob.
You
and
ain't got
then
to be
and
blunt
then
with it though.
and then after 30 years, that pressure busts a pipe and then they explode and she like, what's wrong with you?
No, no,
Why you acting
Jacob.
like this?
Oh, Jacob. No, no. What you ain't? You just said what I told you not to say. You ain't learned nothing over these last 7 years,
Nope.
Jacob. At the end of the day, you know that saying "happy wife, happy life." I guarantee you, the less you make your real comments, the happier you'll be. If you always speak in your mind, you're gonna have to be checking your food. You're gonna have to sleep with one eye open. You're gonna have to do a lot of
Yes.
things. You're gonna be more uncomfortable being honest than if you just tell her what she wanna hear. Because at the end of the day, she might while you sleep, she might be smiling at you and looking at you like that. That's my baby. But if you always brutally honest about everything, I'm telling you, that's not. I
No, I
understand
can't.
the granddaddy thing,
I
but
can't.
we're not
I
enough
can't.
times anymore.
I didn't say. I said that I want to know how men feel about telling a lie for 30 years.
Well, what type of
You
lies are you
ain't.
talking about?
Because if you're not honest, and then when they find out that you wasn't being honest, oh you weren't even honest with me. That's so. Is it a sense? Are they ever going to be happy? Because if you're not telling the truth to them, then you a liar. You know what I'm saying?
Jacob,
It's
it's a
your
thing called
delivery.
it's in something called picking your battles. You got to understand
I
when to
understand
pick
that.
your. So you got to understand. Okay, is this particular conversation worth going back and forth about, or is this one of them things where you kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna let her win this time, or I'm just gonna say what she want to hear this time. Now, if it's something that you know as a man that you got to put your foot down or whatever, she gonna respect that because if you do it in a way where you say, listen, no, we ain't doing that this time. This what we gonna do. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. You know what I'm saying. You say it with you gotta be disrespectful, but you say it with your chest out a little bit and stand on business about it. A woman will respect that. But if you just always because you gotta think. Sometimes if you brutally honest about everything, you know what it end up becoming? It becomes a thing what they call verbal abusive. You feel what I'm saying? So now you're being verbally
Right.
abusive if you're always brutally honest about everything. So now
I
you
get
got
it.
you gotta learn how to use
I
some
get it.
tact in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to come off brutally honest. I mean,
I
verbally
get it.
abusive.
This is 2026. This is the world we live in, man. So I get it. I get it, bro. I get it. I really get it. But hey, you know what I mean? Um, I I guess
Not
men
the
lose again.
2026 now. Hold on. It's your delivery too. Because you
Men
can
lose again,
tell.
as usual.
Okay, well, listen. Even like, let's take the situation with an outfit, and your girl be like, "Hey, baby, does this look good?" And you just come out with, "Nah, it looks you look. It makes you look fat." You could have just said, "No, baby,
Well, well, well,
you
well,
got
well,
that black
well,
outfit
well,
over there, and it
well,
makes you
well
look snatched. Show your
I ain't gonna
curves."
say that. I ain't gonna say make it look fat. I'm be like, you know, it's not fashionable on some other things that I seen you put on. You know what I mean? So that you know, that's
No, don't tell me it's not no damn fashionable, baby. No, you can't tell. No, mm-mm. Listen, you just got this man said not fashionable, and he thought that that was a nice comment.
is better than saying that shit is ugly. It's better than saying that.
No, you just have to change. It's not that you're lying. You just have to change like your approach on how your delivery is like a little rough around the edges, Just say, hey, you got something else in there that would set it, you set that off
That's
better, whatever.
that's why. Yeah, yeah, baby. If you like it, I love it. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
because
leave it
I'm
at that.
telling you.
I'm gonna leave it at that. And then when you don't say that, it's still a problem. So
No, I'm not saying not to say nothing, but it's the way that you say things. Like you will hurt somebody's feelings. And you be one of those people, ain't nobody
so
gonna
okay,
talk to you tonight because you done piss somebody off.
I'm glad you said that about hurting them feelings. And I time me and you talk about this. We talk about Mother's Day is a world renowned holiday. You know, people get new cars, they get trips on yachts and all type of shit. Father's Day, boy, you just get a goddamn, I got them necktie and snicker bar. They don't give a fuck about us.
Well, no, there's some women stepping up the game on
Uh,
Father's Day. I know when
what?
my listen, my father died 11 years ago, and on Father's Day, me and my brother went all out. Just like how we did on Mother's Day, we did the same on Father's Day. So that's not everyone.
So do you remember the song La La? Lil sung a song called One in a Million?
What's
Okay.
the song called? One
One
in
in
a
a Million.
million.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Okay. So
Mm-mm.
that doesn't happen for men a lot at all. I don't know what you've been looking at, or I don't know if your eyes been glued yet when it comes to Father's Day. That don't happen to men at all.
Yes, it do. I think a lot of women now are stepping up their game with trying to go out,
Okay.
go a little further and show
Okay.
their love
Hold
and
on.
support for their man now and their
Hold
fathers and
on.
stuff like that.
Hold on, la la, hold on. As they say on Martin Lawrence, stop the press. Stop the press.
Stop the damn
So,
press.
so we got somebody on here that's been married for 26 great years.
Yes, let's
So
hear it from him.
Icon E, is
Hmm.
my statement true or false?
It's true, but what happened in my home is basically, I mean, okay, let me do it. Let me kind of give y'all a story. So about
No, 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 no,
years
no,
ago,
no, 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 no,
hold
no,
on,
no, no,
hold
Icon.
on, take it.
No, no,
I got
no.
to lay it out. What happened?
We ain't talking about your house. We talking about what we see overall. Overall, in the
Yeah,
United
you're
States of
right.
America, what
Yeah,
you
you're
see.
right. You're right. What you see overall, but I'm gonna tell you. I'm about to tell y'all how we can fix it. I'm a lemonade guy. Instead of you got lemons, you make lemonade. Tell you how you can fix that. So at the end of the day, so I remember years ago when my kids didn't do nothing for their mom on Mother's Day, the day before, supposed to get up and you maybe cook breakfast for her, do something. Especially like middle school, you ain't got no money. Make a little card, do something. So I cussed their ass out. So ever since then, they ain't never had that problem. So then their mom had to do the same thing on the other end, where it had to be more of them things where, okay, this is what we're gonna do for your dad. Because this is the thing about it. Like I say, listen, I tell my listen, that's your mama. You know what I'm saying? So just like I'm your daddy. So at the end of the day, it ain't really about the husband and the wife doing for each other. It's especially if you got kids, it's about you doing for your kids. I mean your kids doing for that mama and them kids doing for that daddy. And I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. When I first moved to Atlanta, me and you, Jacob, we from the real country south. Atlanta is the city. You know what I'm saying? That ain't real country. That's just city. That's
Nah,
cityfied country. So,
Atlanta might was not even be downtown. I mean, you might would put that bitch up there with Philadelphia and Boston and shit like that, man.
but see, my point is, we was raised by them old, old guys, older guys, old them uncles, the real granddaddies, all of that. They really you see what it really supposed to be. I remember I was in a barber shop or somewhere, and I think I had a couple of jobs I worked. And them guys told me, I said, yeah, what y'all doing for y'all wife, whatever, on Mother's Day? We ain't doing nothing. I said, what you mean? Like, that ain't my mama. I go visit my mama. I go do for my mama. So I knew dudes that didn't even do nothing for their wives on Mother's Day because they really literally took it as Mother's Day. I'm due for my mama, but I'm not doing nothing for my wife. I'm like, huh? So I'm just
Wow.
when I heard that, I was like, that was crazy to me, because I never heard that before. You know what I'm
And I
saying?
can't
So, but
you ain't lying because my father dead and gone, man, and he used to be like, "Hey, man, you got 2 weeks before Mother's Day. Y'all better get together." He said just like this: "Y'all came out my sack, and y'all came out her womb. That's y'all mama. Y'all better get
mm-hmm,
together and do what y'all gonna do. Because if I have to hear this shit, I'm on all y'all ass like a cheap food at Walmart.
mm-hmm,
Believe me."
yep, yep. Because that means if y'all don't do nothing for her on Mother's Day, even if it's cook her some breakfast, in bed, or do something, make her a card, do something for her, then I got to see her walk around, depressed or feel a little slighted for the next couple of weeks. And if she upset, the whole house gonna be upset. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have to get on y'all asses like I did that one time when they didn't do nothing for her. You know what I'm saying? Get up, they ain't cook no breakfast or nothing for her. No, y'all this better never happen again. You know what I'm
So
saying?
so so
So,
so I can't. I'm so grateful that we have Queen Lala on here. And I'm so grateful, but I do want to share something with her, man. You know how you say a happy life, a happy wife, happy life. Did you just
mhm,
say that?
yep.
The good book said happy man is God's plan.
Where that
Okay.
at?
Yeah, yeah. A happy man is God's plan. You know what I
Where
mean?
is that at? Please
What what what
listen.
what
Make sure
what
you
what,
find
what
that on us when the next show comes.
words words of that is general knowledge. It's common sense. Cause
No, it's just knowledge.
it's
It's
general
all in
knowledge.
the
It's
book.
common sense.
It's
It,
all in
it,
the
it,
Bible. It said just knowledge.
cause think if we really think about this in a logical format, right?
Oh
You
man,
know,
you too
you
funny.
know,
Hmm.
without man, there is no woman.
You know what that
So
was? That was a Curtis Payne line. You know Curtis Payne is like, that was a
Yes,
Curtis
yeah,
Payne
it
line.
was.
yeah.
It was. You
So
need to
so
stop watching House of Pain because I
and
declare you just made
so
that
I
up just
can
now.
I can they can have a saying like happy
Mhm.
wife, happy life. But if we have a saying like, a happy man is God's plan, it's wrong. See, it's always wrong, man. Like when it comes to the men, it's always wrong.
No, I don't think it's wrong, Jacob. When you put God in it, that's where you kind
Yeah,
of
that's
messed up.
what made it
Then you
wrong.
said it
That
was in
has
the
nothing to do
Bible.
with
Then you said it
Bible
was in the
or
Bible.
Okay,
That
anything.
really messed you up.
okay. So I'm gonna ask you this:
Oh man,
do,
huh?
do you know one woman that will be walking on this earth without a man?
Do I know one woman that would? Huh? Say it again.
Do you know one woman that would be in existence right now if a man was not created?
I
No.
mean, that's a whole different conversation.
Answer yay or nay. Yay or nay.
No, but that's a whole
But that
different.
ain't mean the man happy either. They might have been
Yeah,
happy when it
exactly. Because
happened.
you got to think he made Adam mad the first week when she messed up. After the first
All
couple
I'm,
of weeks when she
all,
messed up
all,
with
all,
she
all
betrayed
I'm
Adam off
saying,
the
I
rip.
can't. All I'm saying to break it down in a nutshell. You hear this, you hear that, you heard our whole life. Honor that woman. Love that woman. But man, listen, Aka, should we hear honor that man at least sometime, bro?
And she
Sometime.
does. The submissive ones. I'm a submissive woman. I listen. My man don't have to worry about cooking.
No, that's not what I
I'm gonna
said.
run his bath order.
That's not what I
We
said.
can honor them as
Said
long as they're doing their part.
I said in society. man is always put on the back burner no matter what.
No, that is not true. That is
Okay.
so not true. Jacob,
Uh,
I don't know where you
uh,
be getting this
uh,
nonsense from.
now, now, uh, I gotta this one. Jacob, I gotta agree with Jacob a little bit on this one. I say more the black man. The black man is really put on the black back burner because we take all the backlash. We take all the venom backlash, all the negative stereotypes. You know what I'm saying? Like I know some of the stereotypes may be true, but we catch too much of it or whatever. And then the thing about it, now I'm gonna say this now. I don't got nothing against
Well,
LG, the alphabet community, LGBTQT, all the letters they want to have. I don't care about. I don't got nothing against them. But they starting to get to the point where the black man get lumped in. All black men get lumped in with what they got going on with the down low stuff and all that. All black men, we ain't down low. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
or whatever the case may be. So at the end of the day,
well,
I don't want to get lumped in
hey,
with whatever the NOP, ABCDEF community got going on.
well, Lala been at that party, man, you know what they was doing? They been warm too, man.
What
LL
who
in the
been
daytime
doing?
group, and I'm just saying, LL in the daytime group all that night. Yeah, man, you know,
Listen, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I do, to each his own. I don't have nothing against anybody that's homosexual, but I am a heterosexual woman. Don't even come at
man,
me
I'm
sideways.
we ain't coming at you sideways,
Oh,
but you
I'm
been
not
out there,
talking
what
about you. I'm
it's
saying that
been
for the
it's been
people.
yeah, it's been
Like
75 degrees this weekend, 77 degrees in ATL,
they
and
was
boy,
outside.
they was outside, boy. AL
They
in the
was
daytime group
outside
all that
too.
night.
Oh my
Yeah,
lord.
Uh, that's why I don't go outside at night, but to get dinner. You know what I mean? I
Yes,
don't
as
go
long as
outside
they
at night.
do it, whatever they do, respectfully. Ain't
You know
nothing.
what
If
I'm
that's
saying?
your thing, just
Uh,
make sure the person is agreeing with you and they are in the same boat as you. But
La La, you've been to ATL. You've been at the NBA game this weekend, right? So
yeah.
my question to you,
Oh, hold on. Stop the press.
hey,
No, you ain't tell me that now. You ain't tell me what the NBA game. See how you be playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Oh
was
man,
at
see
Golden
how you
State
do?
Warriors game
I the Golden
Orlando.
State. Oh my God.
I
Oh
so
love
man.
so
Steph
so
Curry. Love him
He
down.
so
didn't
Oh my
even play.
God.
He
so
didn't even
so
play.
I
I
know,
kind
but
of
he
know
been
she
right
got
there in
the
front of me though.
she was sitting courtside. She got them
And she
jewels on, man.
courtside? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
no, she stayed
Oh,
courtside.
I
No,
was
she got them
not
jewels.
courtside, but I was right behind the floor seats, like on the first row. So he was right there, but
that's
I could have beat.
courtside. That's
That's
Hey
what,
man,
courtside,
well,
Lola.
hey,
well,
I
I
kind of
don't,
look.
If you
She
right
had some
behind them on the next row, that's courtside.
so
no,
so
I
so so
wasn't
so
behind him. I was on the opposite side, but I was, on the first row, and then the floor
That's
level was right.
courtside. That's just on the other side. That's still courtside. Just on the
so
other
Hey,
side.
it wasn't close
hold
enough.
on.
Okay, I should have been
Hold
on the floor.
hold on. Lala said she had some boozy seats. She had some
It
boozy
was,
seats where she can see boozy fade up close and personal. Yeah,
She
no.
down there with
oh my
she down there with
gosh.
two chains and she down there with two chains and them and all that. You probably seen two chains at the game. You know what I'm saying?
No, I didn't see him. Lotto was there though. Lotto was there. Carrie Hilson was there. I know those two at least were
Let's
there at the
see,
game.
See what I'm talking about. So I kind of not even that. Lala had her face beat to the gods, and she got them jewels around her neck, and she might not tell us, but she might have dropped it to the floor and popped it up and dropped it some more.
N- I was well behaved. I was with my dear mother, so I was on my best behavior. Now, if she
Okay.
wasn't there, that would have been a different story. I was
Wow.
acting like a true Southern belle at this game. I was. Every time I'm with
Okay,
my mom,
okay.
I was a
Next
Southern
time,
belle.
Lala need to have on a 95 South T-shirt on or something. Next time or something. Represent us
Mm,
I
somehow.
will be
Can we
back.
get some love?
We
So,
we
so
gonna we
what
gonna
now?
get it. I'm gonna be back. I'll
Okay,
be right
okay.
back.
That's what's up. Uh,
Lala, man. I got to say, man, you are a wonderful addition to 95 South TV, man. We salute you.
You guys.
I'm gonna talk my trash. To spice it up. Because I want them ears on. I want them people inboxing you icon. Man, what he said again now? Yeah, yeah. So we can have them
Yeah.
conversations outside the show, and then be like, can you start a chat with him and why he said this? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Come on. I got some for everybody. But so
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
So once again, everybody, please subscribe to our crazy ass selves at 910 SNE at YouTube. Like I said, powered by Inspire Radio, powered by ATN Studios. Oh, and everybody's catching this right now. The two people that are looking right now, this way, please in the morning. We on CW at 910 Sports is on CW in the morning at 6:30 a.m. and we on Augusta 54 at 1:30 a.m. tonight. Or you know what I mean by tonight. 1:30 a.m. in the morning. We on Augusta 54 910 Sports. It's the John Harris interview. Where John Harris he actually helped publish and write Mike Tomlin's book with him or whatever. He also did something with Edrin James. I think they wrote a book or something too. But it's going. But most interviews about John Harris helping Mike Tomlin with his book or whatever and what he learned about Mike Tomlin. So please check that out in the morning, 6:30 a.m. on in the CW22. So that's mainly in the Carolinas and Virginia area. So if you have a chance to catch it, please watch. So anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all coming on. One love. See y'all on the next episode. You know what
Good
I'm saying?
night,
Everybody have
y'all.
a blessed
hey.
and wonderful week. Peace.
Brown skinned girl, and she knew I was out to go and clear my mind.